Hello everyone, this is Mr. Kaviani, and in this video we're going to learn how to perform dimensional analysis to express a given quantity from one unit into a different unit. We'll begin by discussing an example. Let's say you wanted to calculate the number of seconds in 1 year. Now, I don't know directly the number of seconds in 1 year, but I do know how many seconds there are in a minute and how many minutes there are in an hour, and so on and so on. And we call that a conversion factor. So I'll begin by setting up my dimensional analysis. I like to put the unit that I'm starting in on the left here. And as I go down, I'm going to go from left to right. I'm going to keep multiplying the number of years I have here, 1 year, by conversion factors, essentially things that are equal to each other. So I know that if I have my year on the top here, right, my year on the top, then when I set this up, I need to have years in the bottom as well. This will allow me to cancel the years out, okay? And as I proceed to do this, I'll end up with seconds at the end of this. So I know that in 1 year, there are 52 weeks, right? We know that to be true. Those two things are equal to each other. 52 weeks is equal to 1 year. I'll keep going then. And I don't want weeks, I want seconds. So I need to put weeks down here, right? And that'll allow me to cancel out the weeks. And I know that in 1 week, there are 7 days. Okay, I'll keep going. In 1 day, there are 24 hours. In 1 hour. And as you can see, as I do this, the units slowly start disappearing, right? In 1 hour, there are there are 60 minutes in an hour. And then in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. And so I'll keep going and I'll see my hours canceled, my minutes canceled, and I am left with time in seconds. So I've successfully gone from a year to seconds. To solve for this, though, to get an answer, I need to multiply out. And so I'll multiply everything on the top and then divide that by everything on the bottom. So that's going to be 1 times 52 times 7 times 24 times 60 times 60 divided by 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. As you can see, the denominator is not very interesting in this case. And so my final answer is 31,449,600 seconds. It's a lot of seconds. In this case, I'll keep all of those digits because these are all exact quantities, and I want to make sure I'm communicating my answer as precisely as possible. Now, let's take a look at a slightly more complex example. Let's say I'm trying to convert a speed of 30 miles per hour into meters per second. Now, I have 2 units I have to convert. I need to go from miles to meters and hours to seconds. You can choose to do this separately, or you can do it all together, as I'll show you right here. I'll begin, again, writing out the unit that I have, 30 miles. And in this case, since it's per hour, I can put the 1 hour on the bottom. So 30 miles over 1 hour, okay? And I know that I'm trying to go from miles to meters. I've been given a conversion factor here from miles to feet, and I also know the feet to meters, so I can use that appropriately. So I'll say, let's just start with the miles. 1 mile is 5,280 feet. And again, I'm putting mile in the bottom because I want that to cancel. And then I have feet. I don't want feet still. I want to get to meters. So I know that 3.28 feet is 1 meter. I was given that conversion factor. And so if I cancel out, now I have meters right here. I have meters per hour. Well, I don't really want hour. I still want meters per second. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel the hours now. If hours is on the bottom, then that means hour needs to be on the top here. And that will allow me to cancel the hours. And then 1 hour, there are 60 minutes in an hour, and I don't want minutes, I want seconds. In 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. And if I take a look now, my minutes have canceled, and my final answer will be in terms of meters per second, and that's what I want. So let me go ahead and multiply this out. I'll show that down here. That would be 30 times 5,280 times 1 times 1 times 1. Again, multiplying all the numerators together and then dividing that by all the denominators multiplied together. 3.28 times 60 times 60. Put that into my calculator. and I will get 13.4 meters per second. You could have also said 13.41 meters per second, and that is my final answer. And so that's an example of converting 2 units at the same time. You could have converted miles to meters separately and then divided that by hours converted to seconds just fine, but I prefer to do them all in one step. Last but not least, these are your metric prefixes. You don't need to memorize these, but it would be a good idea to be familiar with a kilo and a centi and a milli. We do use these frequently in physics, so we use kilograms, centimeters, millimeters, milligrams, and it'd be a good idea to be familiar with both the powers of 10 and then also the value. So a kilo is 1,000, a centi is 1/100th, and a milli is 1/1000th. So just be familiar with these. They'll come up quite a bit, and it's easier if you have this familiar than if you don't. This concludes our video on dimensional analysis. Please take a look at the exercises on Canvas to apply what you've learned in this video.